$700,000. That's what 3 students just won for reading a scroll that nobody could open for 2,000 years. A SpaceX intern from Nebraska, an Egyptian PhD student, a Swiss robotics engineer. Their average age was 24. They weren't archaeologists, they weren't classicists. They were computer scientists, and I'm going to show you the exact AI scan where their algorithm revealed words that haven't been read since Julius Caesar walked the earth. But first, you need to understand why this library was impossible to access, and why the secrets inside might be worth billions. August 24, 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius erupts. Pompeii gets the headlines, but 15 kilometers away, something far more valuable was being buried. The town of Herculaneum, and inside one villa, the private library of Lucius Calpurnius Piso Cassininus, Julius Caesar's father-in-law, one of the wealthiest and most powerful men in Republican Rome. His library contained over 800 scrolls, philosophy, poetry, economics, political correspondence. When the volcanic surge hit at 400 degrees, the scrolls didn't burn. They carbonized, turned to solid charcoal, preserved in their rolled form, but completely unreadable. For 300 years, scholars tried everything to read these scrolls. They tried unrolling them carefully. The papyrus crumbled to dust. They tried chemical treatments. The ink dissolved before they could read it. They tried humidity chambers. The scrolls fell apart completely. Every single attempt eliminated more of the text forever. By the 20th century, scientists had essentially given up. These scrolls were declared permanently unreadable. The knowledge inside lost to history. But here's what nobody understood at the time. The scrolls weren't damaged beyond repair. They were locked. And in 2023, someone finally found the key. This is the breakthrough. What you're seeing is a micro-CT scan of a rolled scroll, still sealed, never physically opened. The AI identified the carbon-based ink by detecting subtle density differences in the papyrus fibers. Each letter leaves a microscopic imprint. The machine learning model was trained on fragments of opened scrolls, learning what ancient Greek letters look like when carbonized. Then that knowledge was applied to sealed scrolls. And on February 5, 2024, the Vesuvius Challenge announced something unprecedented. For the first time in 2,000 years, we can read the scrolls without opening them. The first word decoded was porphyr. It means purple, the royal color, the color of emperors. But here's what nobody asked. Why would someone offer $700,000 to decode ancient philosophy scrolls? What's the real economic value of this knowledge? The answer involves Silicon Valley billionaires, a $1 million investment from Elon Musk, and a library that might contain lost works. The technology being developed here isn't just about reading old books. It's about the future of information recovery itself. If this kind of investigation, following the money behind ancient discoveries, is new to you, you're in the right place. Subscribe. The winners weren't professors. Youssef Nader, a PhD student, Luke Ferreter, a SpaceX intern, Julian Schilliger, a robotics student. 3 people who had never studied ancient history before this competition. Together, they decoded over 2,000 characters of ancient Greek text. The content was a philosophical treatise discussing music, pleasure, and the senses. Stop before I show you what they actually found. Understand this. This villa's owner wasn't just wealthy. He was Julius Caesar's father-in-law, and his library wasn't just for personal reading. Lucius Calpurnius Piso Cassininus, senator consul, and one of the most influential political operators in Republican Rome. His daughter, Calpurnia, married Julius Caesar. His villa at Herculaneum was the ancient equivalent of a billionaire's private compound. The library wasn't just a book collection, it was a political tool. Philosophers were employed there to develop ideology. Poets were paid to craft propaganda. Economists were consulted on state policy. This wasn't a reading room. This was a think tank. And somewhere in those 800 sealed scrolls might be correspondence with Caesar himself, political strategies, economic secrets. Here's where the economics get interesting. The Vesuvius challenge has now paid out $1.58 million in prizes. But the funding didn't come from universities. It came from tech billionaires. Nat Friedman, Daniel Gross. They didn't fund this for philosophy. They funded it because AI that can read destroyed documents has applications worth billions in the modern world. Think about it. If you've ever lost a file, had a hard drive fail, you understand the value of data recovery technology. This AI isn't just reading Roman scrolls. It's developing the fundamental framework to recover any damaged document in human history. Quick question. What would you pay to recover something you thought was lost forever? Type your answer in the comments. October 2025. Rome's Capitoline Hill. Elon Musk announces a $1 million donation to continue AI archaeology research. His exact words: "We're going to rewrite history books using ancient material and archaeology." But here's what the headlines missed. Musk's company Neuralink is developing brain-computer interfaces. The same pattern recognition AI could theoretically read damaged neural tissue. The same technology that decodes 2,000-year-old ink patterns could decode corrupted medical imaging data. And they said this was just about ancient history. This proves it's about the future of information itself. So what did they actually find inside the scrolls? The first fully decoded text is attributed to Philodemus of Gadara. The content discusses music, pleasure, and sensory experience. But researchers won another $60,000 for recovering a title. On the Vices, a treatise examining human moral failures. Here's the economic angle that everyone missed. Epicurean philosophy wasn't about mindless pleasure-seeking. It was fundamentally about economics. Epicurus taught that wealth beyond basic needs creates anxiety. In a billionaire's private library, that's either profound wisdom or the ultimate historical irony. The technology behind this is called virtual unwrapping. X-ray tomography creates 3D scans. Machine learning identifies ink patterns. The AI was trained on fragments of previously opened scrolls, learning what Greek letters look like when transformed into carbonized papyrus. Then that pattern recognition was applied to scrolls that have never been opened. Wait, I know what you're thinking. This is impressive technology, but what does it have to do with economics? Let me show you why this discovery is worth paying attention to. The 800 scrolls still sealed at Herculaneum aren't the only damaged ancient documents in the world. There are millions. And the company or institution that perfects this technology will effectively control access to lost human knowledge itself. This is the evidence that changes everything. Google DeepMind just released a system called Ineus, trained on ancient inscriptions. This AI can restore damaged Latin texts. It can predict dates within 13 years. It can identify geographic locations. The same pattern recognition principles reading Herculaneum scrolls now work on stone inscriptions, damaged manuscripts, and corrupted archives worldwide. Remember the breakthrough at minute 3. The same AI principles that decoded purple now apply to virtually every damaged document. This is why I investigate these systems. Subscribe if you want to see how technology is quietly rewriting ancient economics. But we're not finished. Because behind every technological breakthrough, there are human stories. The story of knowledge lost is about accessibility. Think about all the books that once existed but are now completely gone. The plays of Sophocles, the scientific treatises that burned. Each loss represents not just words on a page, but entire ways of understanding the world that we can never recover. Until now, of the estimated 500,000 scrolls in ancient libraries, fewer than 1% survive. 99% is gone. The economic cost of this knowledge loss is incalculable. How many centuries of progress were delayed because we had to reinvent ideas? The Villa of the Papyri contained the only intact ancient library ever discovered. 800 scrolls that survived. But the real tragedy isn't the past. It's what's happening right now. Most digital information created today will be unreadable within 50 years. File formats become obsolete. Storage media degrades. We are losing the ability to access yesterday's information. Have you ever tried to open an old file and found it corrupted? Share your experience in the comments. And here's the part that's about you. I saved the most disturbing evidence for last. A projection that proves this pattern is accelerating. The same problem that locked away Roman philosophy is happening to your files at this very moment. The AI being developed to read ancient scrolls isn't just about the past. It's about preventing a future where we can't access our own history. Herculaneum, 79 AD, Silicon Valley, 2025. Same problem, different technology. Information lost to format obsolescence and media degradation. The same AI reading Herculaneum scrolls will eventually recover corrupted databases and restore digital archives we thought were gone. Check your own backup systems. Send this to someone who needs to think about digital preservation. Here's the modern proof. According to the Library of Congress, the average lifespan of a website is about 2 years. We're creating an ocean of information while simultaneously losing the ability to access last decade's data. Remember, the DeepMind AI, the same technology that reads ancient documents, will become essential for reading our own recent past. You will live through a period where accessing old digital files becomes a specialized skill requiring advanced AI. So now you understand. The Vesuvius challenge is about the economics of lost knowledge. Whoever owns these AI systems will own access to the past. Here's my controversial take. The billionaires funding this are positioning themselves to control the infrastructure of knowledge recovery. Tell me I'm wrong in the comments. But every time a file won't open, you'll understand the deeper problem. But this story connects to something bigger. The villa owner helped finance Julius Caesar. The economics of political funding. If these investigations matter to you, subscribe. Click here for our investigation into how ancient Rome financed political campaigns.